In your headlines, Minister of Education holds special needs press conference. Man charged with murder, and Raisha Higgs recognized for her recent accomplishments. Hello, Turks and Caicos. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Latoya Walker, your anchor for Wednesday's newscast. Let's get right into it. Development in special needs education was the topic up for review this latest press conference, featuring Minister of Education Honorable Rachel Taylor and reinstated Education Officer with responsibility for special needs, Jazz Walkin. Take a look at what came out of that press conference and Wednesday's leading story.
The official launch of Special Needs Education Awareness Month issued a wealth of knowledge on the collaborative efforts of the Ministry of Education and Health in their mandate to develop the special needs of both children and adults, presenting with the following.
We have children with autism, attention deficit hypertension disorder, language disorders, specific language disorders, development coordination disorders, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, physical challenge, and this list goes on.
Minister of Education Honorable Rachel Taylor says, and all areas are expected to receive the needed assistance. Education officer responsible for special needs education, Jazz Walkin, speaks on some of the challenges experienced with assessments.
The Ministry of Health over the years and the support from One World Foundation have visited and come in periodically and done assessment. The problem with that is because they're not a resident, is that there's only a limited number of children that they can assess. So it creates a waiting list. It creates a backlog. The unfortunate thing about that waiting list is while the kids are waiting to be assessed, they are getting older, they're getting more mature, and if you're familiar with education, any form of remediation that is requiring special attention, it is much easier when they are young and when they are much more impressionable.
Some statistics reveal that as of August 2021, 85 children are diagnosed under the autism spectrum disorder, 60 children with ADHD, 40 with language disorders, as well as others with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and other disorders, which total to about 200 persons diagnosed. The first three mentioned, he says, are particularly alarming.
Those three categories account for 185 children that are currently in the Turks and Caicos Islands, whether they are in a school system, in a classroom, at home, or in a private institution, wherever they are, they have a report that says they need remediation.
All hands on deck. No child will be left behind. The theme for this month, as the team visits the islands across the TCI for a drive, which will assist specialists with garnering a national system of referral, assessment, diagnosis, intervention, and remediation.
The Minister of Finance, in his latest update on the financial position of the Turks and Caicos Islands, gave a vivid analysis on departmental costs. He also highlighted major areas that showed an upsurge in spending. Take a look.
This is how the recurrent cost is broken down. And 48% of government's cost is around three areas: salaries and their wages, pensions and gratuities, which is a small amount, and the NHIB and hospital charges. And so there are areas now that we know that even though we're keeping ahead, the things that we need to keep our eye on. NHIB and hospital charges drives the team basically crazy because you can't predict for it. You can't predict for it because you can't know whether someone is going to get sick or not. And so this number can fluctuate. If you have a year where people are very healthy and you don't have to send people abroad, this number will go down. But if you have a year where a lot of people get sick and you have to send them abroad, this number will go up. And this number is very, very unpredictable. And it makes up 20% of the government's expenditure would be spent money on in the cost. So we're looking at now, after the supplementary, spending $302,000, $398,384.
In a breakdown on just how money is being spent, the Minister of Finance noted that 23.5% of the financial budget has been allocated to the Ministry of Health and Human Services.
Ministry of Health is getting $81.5 million. The bulk of it goes to the Ministry of Health, and that they make up 23.5% of it. And that's why I said to you, this number, if we do a good job of managing our health care, having people live a healthy lifestyle, and people don't get sick as often or having to be sent abroad, this number can go down. But this number has the potential of just blowing away the budget, because we may have a case where we have to send a lot of people abroad and it blows it away. And that's one of the things that we have to spend. So we're trying to spend a lot of money on helping people live healthy lifestyles. So going forward, this number will be a lot more manageable, but it's unpredictable. And that's one of the things what makes it very difficult for government is the healthcare costs.
Statutory charges totaling $67,219,805 held 19.4%, another high item for the budget.
Statutory charges makes up $67 million. We have Ministry of Education is getting $40.1 million.
A total of 14 departments absorbed less than 9% each of the budget, rounding off the total cost to $346,443,448 in the breakdown across departments.
Comes to a total of $346,443,448. That's how it's broken down across the departments.
So here's the Minister of Finance on how it's all being managed.
So the original budget, we thought we were going to come in at $273,396,261 originally. Now that would have cost a deficit of $69,536,136. Now what we would have had to do if we had gotten to that deficit, we would have had to draw down on the loan, the $80 million loan. So we had an $80 million loan facility, and so we would have had to draw down the bulk of $70 million out of that $80 million to cover that cost. And that was the plan. The plan was to draw down on the loan. But because of the great performance, because now we're projecting basically $90 million over, that allows us to come in better by $16.6 million. And so now we went from a $69 million, about $70 million deficit that we thought we were going to do. And again, if you're in the private sector, a $70 million loss, and swung to, by the great job of the Ministry of Finance and the economy, we swung to a profit, let's call it a surplus, and that's a swing of $86.2 million.
A quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Police have charged a 35-year-old man in the murder of Isaac McBee Mizik, who was decapitated back in September on the island of North Caicos. 2 men were questioned regarding his murder. One of them has been formally charged. Here's more.
Police have revealed that a 35-year-old man has been charged in the murder of Isaac Magby Mizik, who was killed in North Caicos back in September. The Serious Crimes Unit of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force charged and cautioned 35-year-old Idy Lewis Aiton of Kew, North Caicos on Friday, November 5th, who was scheduled to be arraigned in court last week. News of Magby's sudden and unimaginable death shocked the nation after reports were that Mizik's body was found headless in his Kew home. Police have yet to release whether or not the missing body part has been located, and information on a motive remains unknown. The homegoing celebration for Mizik took place on Saturday, October 30th.
Fresh off her 24th birthday, Raisha Higgs has been honored for her many accomplishments that have shone a positive light on these islands. Take a look.
From training little girls to dance, have confidence and be their best selves, to performing in Disney's Lion King on the international stage, Raisha Higgs is an extraordinary daughter of the soil who has made the Turks and Caicos Islands very proud. To show the country's appreciation for the things she has not only accomplished for herself, but her spirit of community and giving back, government-appointed member in Parliament, the Honorable Jamaica Williams, hosted an appreciation ceremony on Tuesday evening at the Palms. Although it rained quite steadily throughout the evening, it did not dampen the spirits of the attendees, among them the governor and his wife, ministers of government, parliamentarians, noted business people, family, and friends. Minister of Youth Affairs, Honorable Rachel Taylor, was among the many who expressed their pride and support for Ms. Higgs.
I want to bring greetings on behalf of the Minister of Tourism, who cannot be here with us this evening because she just arrived today and we had a pre-cabinet. But that is how important Raisha is to us. So I want us to put our hands together for the accomplishments of Raisha. Yes, Raisha. You are indeed a role model to the young people of the Turks and Caicos Islands. You have been resilient in your endeavors. You did not give up. When I watched you, Raisha, I was like, that is a little girl from a small island with a big dream. And you worked hard to ensure that you accomplished just that. But you know what? I need to say congratulations to your parents, because I know Rose very personally. And I know of her dedication in an effort to ensure that you achieve your dreams. She was there with you. She provided that opportunity for you to excel, to be the individual that you are today. What I like about you, Raisha, is that a lot of times our young people decide to go abroad and achieve an education, or further their education, I should say, and then they forget to come back. But each summer, you return, and it is an opportunity that our young people look forward to, especially those students who are in school, when there's hardly anything to do during their summer break. But you decide to return and offer your assistance in an effort to bring out the best in them, to harness their skills in that area. You are definitely a star. You are Turks and Caicos star. And I watched you, actually I was in Grand Turk and I missed that. And I said, I have to watch it. Praise God for Sean for carrying it on. And then I saw my little children from Enid Capron. And I'm like, they did represent. And it was, yeah, that's it. But Raisha, we just want to encourage you to continue to follow your dreams. Always remember that the sky is the limit. It is young people like you who encourage politicians like us to ensure that we put mechanisms in place to ensure that our children are able to follow their dreams in whatever area it is. But you know what I like about you, Raisha has something to fall on as it relates to academics. So therefore, you capitalize on the opportunity that while you are out there pursuing the creative arts, you also pursue your academics, and that is quite admirable.
Speaking of academics, at the age of 16, after graduating from high school, Ms. Higgs traveled to New York City to further her dance studies. where she attended 2 performing dance schools, while also enrolled in university pursuing a degree in biomedical science. In 2020, she completed that degree at King's College London, and most recently, she completed her master's with distinction in global health and international surgery. During her presentation in the House of Assembly last week, the Honorable Jamaica Williams expressed her hopes that Tuesday night's appreciation for a daughter of the soil will help to instill national pride in the country and its people, and will serve as an inspiration for other young Turks and Caicos Islanders that they too can achieve all their dreams and that they have the support of a government who cares.
On behalf of our CEO and President, Mrs. Turks, who could not be here today because she is traveling, but I am indeed honored just to be here today to make this presentation to you, Raisha. And for the CCI, we truly believe in supporting young people in their dreams and to do their best, not only here in Turks and Caicos, but on the world stage. And you are certainly doing that, Raisha. And personally, I have a personal story about Raisha. So my daughter started her classes when she was about 5 years old. And yeah, little top at the time. And she was nervous, she didn't want to go, but by the end of, I think it was the second round, I was like, who is this child? Her confidence had just skyrocketed, and she just taken over the stage. So, Raisha, just want to say thank you for that, and London is looking forward to the next session with you. But Raisha, to say that I am proud, we are proud of you, is certainly an understatement. You are inspiring the young, the old Turks and Caicos Islanders, non-Turks and Caicos Islanders. You are spreading your wings, my dear, and I know the best is yet to come for you.
For PTV News Watch, I am Delana Isles.
A quick break now. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Mixed weather patterns across the Turks and Caicos Islands is your weather forecast for November 11th, 2021. Starting in the nation's capital on Grand Turk Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 84, low 79, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. South Caicos on Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Northern Middle Caicos on Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Parrot and Pine Key on Thursday, scattered thunderstorms, high 84, low 79, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Thursday, scattered thunderstorms, high 84, low 79, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Time now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise at 5:59 a.m., sunset at 5:09 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 12:37 a.m., 1:05 p.m. Low tides 6:41 a.m., 7:34 p.m. Time now for your hurricane outlook. For the North Atlantic Caribbean Sea in the Gulf of Mexico, showers and thunderstorms have decreased near the center of a hurricane-force non-tropical low-pressure system located a little over 500 miles east-northeast of Bermuda. While a large area of shower activity associated with a frontal boundary persists to the northeast of the low center, the system has not yet acquired sufficient characteristics to be classified as a subtropical cyclone. However, some additional development is still possible during the next day or two, while upper-level winds become a little more favorable, and a subtropical storm could form during this time. Thereafter, the system is forecast to move over colder waters and be absorbed by a larger non-tropical low. And that's it for your weather forecast and hurricane outlook. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
A one-of-a-kind seminar aimed at effecting change in people in public life kicked off on Tuesday at the Atrium. The one-week event is hosted by the Integrity Commission. Take a look.
The seminar is focused on anti-corruption, purposely directed at behavioral goals, and not directed at awareness creation, advocacy, or public education. Director of the Integrity Commission, Paul Martin, opened the session, speaking directly to the issues of corruption here in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
So what's it like in TCI? Well, I'll be honest about it. There are a number of issues in TCI. There are issues in relation to conflicts of interest, where people don't recognise them or refuse to recognise them. I understand there are problems in relation to that, and it causes a lot of problems to people. However, the legislation is there for a purpose. It was brought in by Parliament, and therefore we need to adhere to it. And it's our job to police that, which we have to do.
The director bemoaned the fact that not many people are declaring their assets as they are required to.
Things are challenging this year in terms of that we're not getting a response from people. So if we look at the number of declarants from the House of Assembly, who we should be looking up to, out of 21, we've only been in a position to clear 12. Now that is not good when we're looking across TCIG, because these are the people at the very top. If we look overall, the total for declarants being cleared is 88%, but normally at this time of year we'd be sitting at 95%. I'll speak briefly, I know Dwayne possibly will appreciate it or not appreciate it, but I think it's relevant to us in terms of if we look at the number of suspicious activity reports that are being registered. The figures for last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne, were 59. So suspicious activity reports are what financial institutions should report to the FIA when they think there is a suspicious transaction going through. And I'm not an expert, but I think the threshold is 10,000. And the amount of commerce that is going on in this country, there should be a lot more. And a lot more should be coming through to us, but the people aren't reporting it. This is why this conference is so important, of moving the understanding of corruption into action. So we look at those figures there, and one that I think is outstanding, well, not outstanding, is appalling, is law firms and attorneys, 2 suspicious activity reports last year. 2, and the number of properties that have been sold here. Something is not working properly, and we're not getting the information through in relation to that.
The director said the TCI did not receive a good evaluation report from the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force in relation to money laundering and financing terrorism. He says the TCI is currently seeking a follow-up report and that things have improved since that initial one. However, he has fears that the mechanisms put in place as requested by the task force will not be effective. Meanwhile, the seminar runs until Saturday. The target audience for the sessions are personnel from all ministries across government sectors, other entities of good governance, and other stakeholders. For PTV News Watch, I am Delana Iles.
This concludes today's edition of Newswatch. Remember, you can visit our website at www.ptvatci.com or join us every weekday at 6:30 p.m. I'm Latoya Walking, signing out until next time.